Hey guys, you're in a nutshell with me, Ina. Hihiwalay na raw ba talaga ang Alberta sa Canada? Is it really possible? Is that process simple? Ano ba pagdadaanan sakaling magkaroon ng botohan sa Alberta para tanungin ng mga residente dyan kung sila ay sang-ayon na maging sarili nitong entity, sariling bansa ang Alberta. Hindi na sila Canadians, Albertans na lang. Yan po ang ating pag-uusapan. Okay, with Attorney Lou. Okay, it does not necessarily involve immigration, but it does. Kasi syempre, mag-iiba rin ang immigration na status ng mga tao doon, ano? But Attorney Lou will be sharing with us also the realities of this idea. Madali bang humiwalay ang isang probinsya sa Canada? Attorney Lou, ako I noticed, no, on X, formerly known as Twitter, daming mga dito. Ang dami dong mga pro-separation, sa totoo lang. And then last week, I noticed ang daming mga nag-post ng videos. Grabe, meron dito mga lineup. Meron dong isang petition signing na dumadami na raw umano ang mga Albertans na gustong-gusto nang humiwalay raw sa Canada. But then, if you research and look at reports, actual surveys, it would appear to me na mas marami pa rin, no, yung anti sa paghihiwalay. Gusto nilang one Canada pa rin. Pero mas maingay or lalo pang umiingay din yung mga gustong humiwalay. Okay, ikaw ano bang assessment observation mo dito sa nangyayari dyan sa Alberta tungkol sa separation na movement na yan?
I mean, there are elements talaga. They're always been in the minority. Maingay sila. Tama naman yung assessment mo dito. I agree with this particular assessment. Most Albertans surveys say still want to remain in Canada. Nagkakataon lang na meron silang platform to talk about this within the UCP government in Alberta. And, you know, it is kind of like a big tent of conservative factions inside the province of Alberta. And naisama dito yung mga progressive conservatives, pati yung mga social conservatives. Kasama na rin yung mga libertarians and people who believe that Alberta should secede. So, it is very interesting to me na tingin nila ganun din lang siya kadali. Na tipong magre-referendum, for example, kasi ginawa na nga to ng Quebec, not once, but twice. Feeling nila kapag nanalo, yun na. But nakakalimutan po nila na ultimately, and bakit ba kasi ume-epal dito si Attorney Lou about this subject, politika na to? Ultimately, ano kasi to legal issue to, di ba? At the end of the day, legal issue din ito. Paano yung mekanismo, paano hihiwalay ang Alberta? Tandaan po natin na mayroon pong konstitusyon ang Canada. In order to separate from Canada, you would need to amend Canada's constitution. At hindi po nag-exist in the legal framework ng Canada ang unilateral secession ng isang probinsya. You know, kahit sabihin ni British Columbia, halimbawa, na gusto niyang humiwalay, nag-referendum, let's say kahit na 95% yes daw to secede from Canada, ay hindi naman to legally valid, 'di ba? Kasi meron proseso ang Canada. Kailangan may agreement ang Parliament of Canada, both the House of Commons and the Senate, plus all of the provincial legislatures, ibig sabihin 10 legislatures of Canada, kailangan mag-say yes, i-approve dapat nila yung secession ni British Columbia in that particular case. Diba? So, I mean, it's always debated by legal scholars kung po pwede ba. Kasi may mga formula, may mga amendment formula po ang Constitution of Canada as of 1982. And yun nga po, ang formula po for secession dahil it involves the altering of Canada's boundaries and provincial boundaries. Sa punto na napaka-importanteng issue nito dahil inaapekto niya yung territorial integrity ng bansang Canada, kailangan po ng consent ng lahat ng legislatures ng Canada. At one more point. In the Philippines kasi, for those of us who still remember our civics very well in the Philippines, meron po tayong mga modes of amendment and constitutional change in the Philippines, di ba? Meron yung Constitutional Assembly na magko-constitute yung Senate tsaka yung House as a Constitutional Assembly na magda-draft, magbabalangkas ng bagong constitution. Pero ultimately, isusumite nila yung project nila sa mga tao with
Mhm.
plebiscite. Reference na parang from a democratic perspective, yes, mga tao yung nag-a-approve, great. Si Canada, hindi po ganyan. Ang sovereignty po, kahit democracy po ang Canada, ang kailangan mag-yes or no is yung mga legislatures. 'Di ba?
Yes.
Hindi po yung mga tao. Merong mga kanya-kanyang referendum acts ang mga probinsya. A lot of it is consultative. A lot of it has binding authority but not for constitutional amendment. Kailangan ng
Mhm.
constitutional amendment. So, from a purely legal perspective, this is almost impossible.
Mhm.
Napakahirap pong amyendahin ng konstitusyon ng Canada. Tanungin niyo
Yeah.
po ilang beses na. Last time na may malaking amendment attempt was time ni former Prime Minister Brian Mulroney, yung Meech Lake Accord.
Mhm.
Nagkagulo-gulo po yan. Ah,
All
hindi po natuloy dahil talagang hindi talaga mag-agree ang mga provinces. Okay?
alright. Oh, in short guys, kahit pa mag-ending ng botohan diyan at manalo, sabihin mo na lang yung, at this point if ang surveys lang ang ating pagbabatayan, manalo
Yes.
yung slim chance na gusto nga nilang mag-separate. It's unlikely. Yun yung sinasabi mo. Malabo, mahirap na matuloy
Mad
talaga
madami
siya.
pa silang kakaining legal maneuvers in order to make
Oo.
that real. Dagdagan
Can
ko
you give
pa,
us an
Ina.
idea, Attorney Lou? Kasi ano ba yung ipagde-deliberate o pagdedebatehan patungkol sa separation ng isang state? Of course, hihiwalay yung pension system,
Oh,
their own
yes.
currency.
Yes.
Paano yung
Defense,
mga
foreign
infrastructure,
policy.
let's say, infrastructure sa trade, yung mga ganun. I mean,
O, wag
these
ka
are
pa
very
lumayo dyan.
complicated.
First
Ha?
Nations. First
Oh,
Nations.
mm.
So, technically, lalo na dito sa mga numbered treaty arrangements out in the West, may agreement, may treaty, may tratado po between the First Nations and the Crown, meaning yung gobyerno ng Canada, na dati
Mm.
nirerepresentahan ng monarchy from the United Kingdom, na ngayon na nga nirerepresenta ng Government of Canada. So may treaty po ito. Kapag ka po binasag yung treaties na to, pag nag-referendum, nag-separate, kailangan po plansyahin yung mga lukot na lalabas dito sa paglabas. Kasi kailangan mo rin ng consent ng mga First Nations. And ang dami ng First Nations groups na nagsabi na hindi sila papayag. Kung
Yeah.
hindi mo nyo mapaplansya yan, it's more likely na may success. And I'm not saying that it will be successful in Quebec. Mas malaki yung
Mhm.
groundswell for this in Quebec kesa sa
Oo.
Alberta, sa totoo lang.
I see. Ito hindi naman sa political analyst na rin si Attorney Liu, but I would like his personal opinion about this. How do you think is the Premier, Daniel Smith, handling it? Kasi sinasabi niya publicly, okay, sa press, na she is not advocating for separatism. Yet, on the other hand, she's making the process easier in a way, right?
In a
Kasi
way.
parang yung inis niya, binawasan niya yung limits para
Yes.
magkaroon ng threshold para magkaroon ng isang botohan, isang referendum.
Ng referendum. Yes.
Mm.
Ooh, what happened? Ayun, I'm back.
Wait,
What
okay.
do I think about that? Well, first of
There
all,
you
I
go.
think it's... Can you hear me? Yeah, sorry. Yeah. What do I think about Premier Smith's strategy here? I think, on the one hand, I do not envy her position kasi nga, big tent coalition in the right of center yung kanyang UCP in Alberta, yung governing coalition niya that allows her to be the premier of Alberta. So at some point, she does have to make concessions to the more extreme parts of her party. So kailangan she needs to keep everyone happy under that particular tent, di ba? Kung hindi, pwede sila mag-revolt and pwedeng mawalan sila ng majority, di ba? Pwedeng mawatak-watak ang conservatives. So mawawalan siya ng kapangyarihan. So I don't envy her from that particular perspective. On the other hand, medyo parang merong konting stroke of like political brilliance here. Just a bit. Bibigay ko na sa kanya yan. Kasi parang in a way, binibigyan mo ng way to diffuse yung pent-up tensions na agitated for, a referendum, to do this and to do that. Pero kasi sa kabilang banda kasi, Ina, I'm not sure if you-follow mo rin talaga to. Meron namang isang pro-Canada group na sobrang agitated na, sige, talaga bubuksan niya yung referendum, gagawa kami ng referendum na pro-Canada.
Oo,
At
parang it's led by another former public official din right?
Yes, conservative on top of that.
Oo,
So,
oo.
former conservative public official, tapos ito ka. Ito palang batas na nilagay nila, Daniel Smith, sabi nila, is yung hindi pwedeng araw-araw may referendum. No, tama nga naman, di ba? Parang may limit as to how many. So, in other words, itong group na to, inunahan, so mas masigasig sila, di ba? So, naisahan nila yung grupo. But the final point here, I think, is the dangerous part. I mean, hindi ko naman itatago na pro-Canada ako, di ba? Na hindi ako
Mm-mm.
pro-secession or anything. Like, magalit na sino magalit. Kasi yung nangyari kasi sa United Kingdom nung Brexit, etong si Prime Minister David Cameron, ganun din ang ginawa niya. Sinabi niya para malang mapa-shut up niya yung mga backbenchers na anti-European Union. Sige, pumayag siya magpa-referendum in the United Kingdom. And in that case, binding yun. So yun nga, kaya nga umalis sila sa European Union. Kaya ngayon, tignan mo, the United Kingdom is now 2% poorer than what they should have been. For example, kasi kung against, say for example, if they had stayed in the European Union, sobrang laking dagok sa kanilang economy and standing yung pag-alis sila sa European Union. What more for Alberta? And hindi sa minamaliit ang province of Alberta. I'm not sure if I'm still there. Ina, are you still
You're
there?
here. You're here. Okay, I see.
Are you there? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Ulitin ko na lang. So hindi sa minamaliit natin yung province of Alberta, pero kasi tignan natin, landlocked po siya. Naiipit po siya ng mga probinsya ng Canada at ng United States. So kung magiging independent country po siya, saan po lalabas yung mga pipeline niya? 'Di ba? So syempre naririnig natin counterpoint dito. It's like, sa United States, teka, sigurado ba kayong tatanggapin kayo ng US? Napaka-hypothetical na itong conversation na ito. Kasi yun nga, sabi ko, ultimately, this is a legal question for Canada to resolve. And pumirma po, unlike Quebec ang Alberta pumirma po sa 1982 Constitution ng Canada. So they signed off on that. So parang mas may parang dapat sundan nyo to kung ganun from a perspective of rule of law, 'di ba? So
last point na lang, Attorney Lu, no, nabanggit mo na parang paano pa yung Alberta, yung ikayayaman nito sakaling maghiwalay sila, no? Because one comment that I always see is kasi naman ang Alberta lang daw ang malaking ambag sa ekonomiya ng buong Canada. And yet, hindi nila nararamdaman na binabalik sa kanila ng federal government yung malaking ambag nila dahil nga they are rich in oil, etc. Does that argument make sense?
Does that make sense? Well, I think the question should be directed to the idea of the equalization payments. Kasi po, ang Constitution po ng Canada, it has a mechanism that basically redistributes the nation's wealth to provinces that don't make as much para magkaroon ng mga basic guarantees in terms of quality of delivery of services pagdating sa infrastructure, sa social services such as healthcare and education. Ang bitterness ng Alberta na sinasabi is that, yun nga, papasok na tayo sa mundo ng Western alienation. Kasi yung mga Western provinces daw laging nakakalimutan ng mga Laurentian elites from Ontario, Quebec, 'di ba? So, ang siste dito is nakakalimutan din siguro ng mga kaibigan natin sa Alberta na meron din pong pundar na pinapasok ang Quebec at ang Ontario. At in fact, in terms of economic weight, napakalaki po ng economic weight ng Ontario. So, parang kapag sinabi naman nila na ganun, parang isipin din po naman sana nila na malaki din naman po ang ambag ng mga taga-Ontario. Or mga taga British Columbia. So parang hindi lang naman po sila nagdadala ng ekonomiya ng Canada. With all due respect, of course. Pero alam mo yun, it doesn't mean that it diminishes their voices. I hear them and I actually think that their complaints about Western alienation and laging nakakalimutan ng Ottawa nga yung mga concerns out west, super valid. Super valid talaga. I have friends who are in the public sector in Alberta, actually, who feel the same way, even if they don't necessarily agree with Daniel Smith, for example. They feel na kinakalimutan sila ng Ottawa. May point talaga. Pero hindi ibig sabihin hiwalay tayo. Alam mo yun? 'Di ba? Hindi naman yun ang solusyon. Kapag ganun, bawat barangay naging bansa. Hindi nga gano'n, 'di ba? Parang
Lahat
parang
na lang, oh.
lahat na lang ng ano, subdivision naging sariling bansa, hindi naman ata puwede 'yun, 'di ba?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, well, that is it. O, 'di ba? Biglang naging expert sa parang ano ba
Hindi
'to,
naman
dito sa
expert.
issue na 'to.
Hindi, kinorner ko naman sa legal frame niya, 'di ba? At least yung
Yeah,
what
yeah,
is
yeah.
legal
Oo.
in secession ay may
Yan.
mekanismo pero mahirap.
Correct. Thank you so much, Attorney Lou, as always, for your time. Okay, guys, if you have other questions or if you wanna book a consult tungkol naman sa immigration concerns ninyo, yung kanyang email po yung nandyan sa ibaba. Okay, that is it for this episode. Bye, everybody. Let me know what you guys think, yung mga viewers natin dyan sa Alberta. Kung anong tingin nyo sa issue na to. Okay, lagay nyo dyan sa comment section. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!